You're watching NFL Daily, and it's mailbag time. I also want to bring to y'all's attention, guys, we're going to be live for the entire NFL draft. I can't wait. I know Tom's not going to sleep probably the entire week in terms of excitement. We're going to be live all 3 days, all 7 rounds. From April 28th to the 30th, we're just going to give you guys nonstop content, and we're actually going to get the picks before you see them on TV. So subscribe, turn on your notifications. That way, you don't miss the draft. Let's go to the first Super Chat coming up here on today's show, and it's Doom. Should the Seahawks offense in FF fantasy football be avoided this year? Okay. I'm not sold on it, especially after last season. The split targets make points too inconsistent. Yeah, all right, you're definitely talking about fantasy football. I'll say this. If DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are receivers, I'm not going to take them where they usually go based on name because I don't have faith in Drew Lock. I don't have faith in whoever the hell is going to be the quarterback there as it stands right now. Because I don't have faith in the quarterback, it makes the running back situation a little bit tricky. Rashad Penny's always getting banged up. Chris Carson's always getting banged up. So I am going to probably stay away from it. However, if Tyler Lockett is available in a PPR league and he starts falling in the later rounds, he might be the only guy that I go out and try to get. Let's go to Trizzy Slaps. Adam Thielen isn't getting any younger. You're right, he's about 34. Could Minnesota trade for A.J. Brown? Could they trade for him? Sure. I mean, I get it. A.J. was literally on Twitter, I believe on Tuesday, and he was like, oh, y'all think I'm a diva now, this and that. He doesn't sound very happy with some Titans fans, and I don't know if something like Deebo Samuel is going to transpire, but if he wanted to go to Minnesota, I actually think he would be a pretty good fit in that offense. It would be a very intriguing offense, and you're right, Adam Thielen isn't getting any younger, but the Vikings wouldn't be in my top 5 of A.J. Brown destinations. If A.J. Brown does up getting dealt, where do you think he ends up playing in 2022? Let's have a little bit of fun here, okay? Look into your crystal ball and tell me, where will A.J. Brown play in 2022? And I want you to have the mindset that it's not going to be with the Titans. One of our most loyal watchers, Evans, what's up, brother? Is it true if Baker Mayfield gets cut, Steelers will sign him? I don't know if it's true. I think that the Steelers should have at least some interest in him because there's no way you can sit here and say Mitch Trubisky is our best option. Like, if you honestly think that the Steelers with Mitch Trubisky are going to be able to compete with the Browns, with Deshaun Watson, with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, with Joe Burrow and the Bengals, I think you're crazy. And if you can upgrade at quarterback, and I can't believe I'm saying it, Baker I do think is an upgrade over Trubisky, or they're very, very close, why not? Why not go ahead and roll the dice? And Mason Rudolph's your other option. I don't trust him, so you need another quarterback. Why not? Let's go to Dylan Burks here. Trade Deebo and get Burks. So you're saying for the 49ers to trade Deebo, and if you're going to trade Deebo, you better get a first-round pick this year, which it's a duh. You better get a first-round pick. And I think the 49ers' closest pick is, 61 overall this year? I believe that's the number. Let's say you get in the top 20. Then go out and get Treylon Burks. Sure, go for it. But don't think for a second that there's a single wide receiver in this year's draft that can do what Deebo does. Yes, Treylon Burks is a good athlete, but I'm not going to expect Treylon Burks to be able to come in and do what Deebo did. What Deebo did last year is extremely, extremely rare from a wide receiver and from a running back standpoint. Let's go to Obi-Wan. Will James Bradbury play for the Giants this year? I'm going to go ahead and say no. I don't know when he gets traded, but I do think that it does end up going down. When you talk about the amount of trade rumors that the New York Giants have had around Bradbury, I don't know if they don't want him. It's the money, right? You're going to have to go ahead and pay him like $13.4 million. It sounds like they want a 5th-round pick. Maybe they'd be willing to settle for a 6th-rounder. If I was an NFL team, I would be more than willing to give that up for Bradbury. I like him. But here's the other thing. You know the Giants don't want him, so you try to get him for cheap. He might not get traded on draft day. If anything, you could see a player like him getting dealt after June 1st when a few other NFL teams get extra money due to post-June 1st cuts. Whether we make videos in April, May, June, July, we're going to keep you guys up to date the entire offseason. So if news happen, we got you. If rumors happen, we got you. Draft analysis, everything, trades, it's all year long. Chat Sports, no days off. That's a promise. I don't think I've had a day off in 4 years. Subscribe and turn on your notifications. Seriously, hit that big red button. Hit that notification bell. We got you covered. Let's go to James. What up, my man? Do you think Stephon Gilmore has any impact on the Colts? Side note, who do you have in the Fury-White fight on Saturday? Said that really weird. Saturday. I'm going to go Fury. I'm a big Fury guy, so that's going to be my pick there. In terms of Gilmore, yes, he is going to have an impact. Do I think that Gilmore fits what Gus Bradley likes to do for defense? No, not really. Personally, I see Stephon Gilmore being more of a man-style corner. Bradley only runs cover 3, so you're only going to get in zone coverages there. I think Gilmore went to Indianapolis because they gave him the most guaranteed money, $14 million guaranteed, 2-year contract worth $23 million. Big Dog Wolf, Super Chat time. Debo to Carolina for Robbie Anderson. At first I read it as A-Rob. I'm like, that ain't true. For Robbie Anderson and a second-round pick. Why would the 49ers do that? Robbie Anderson is a nut job in himself. I wouldn't want that. If you want to throw in Robbie Anderson, a second-round pick, I would still require a first-round pick. If I am going to trade Deebo Samuel, if I'm the 49ers, I better get a first-round pick. An interesting trade idea could be Deebo and Jimmy Garoppolo, and then Carolina just throws in everything that they possibly have, and they get a quarterback and they get a receiver. But this deal, if I was the 49ers, I'd flip you off. Let's go to Jared Sanchez. Who's more likely to get traded on draft night? Deebo Samuel or Kyler Murray? I'm going to go I'm going to go Deebo Samuel because quarterbacks trades, they get a lot more crazy. And yes, this has been the one-off season where trades, you just never know what's going to happen. But Kyler Murray's camp at this current point hasn't said that they want to be traded. Deebo Samuel has requested a trade. So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to go ahead and say Deebo Samuel. So with the first-round pick, well, every single year the team that gets number 1 pick is usually the worst team in the National Football League. So who's the worst team in the NFL as it stands right now? I get who has the number 1 pick. That doesn't mean that they're the worst team right now because free agency happened. But if you were to tell me, Mitch, season starts tomorrow, who do you think is the worst team in the NFL? Let me know down in the comments. I know what you're doing today. What percentage chance is it that Tom Brady plays for the Dolphins this year? Oh, man, I'll say this. It's not a 0% chance. And there's going to be a lot of people out there like, oh, Tom said that it's not true. The Buccaneers said this isn't true. Tom Brady also said he was going to retire. And we've heard how many times this offseason that this will never happen. And then it happened. So, Brady was on a yacht with Stephen Ross. Stephen Ross, big Michigan donor. If anything, I believe he's the biggest Michigan donor there is right now. It's literally the School of Business at Michigan is called the Ross School of Business. Why? Stephen Ross. There's a lot of money there. If Stephen was like, hey, man, I'll give you a lot of money. I'll give whatever you want. This might sound crazy, but if you put Tom Brady on the Miami Dolphins, that team is legit. However, if I was Brady, I still think I have a better chance of making the Super Bowl being on the Buccaneers than I do Miami because of how much weaker the NFC is compared to the AFC. On top of that, how much weaker the NFC South is compared to the AFC East. What up, Christopher C? My top 3 hot takes for the draft. Love hot takes. Matt Corral goes number 6. Kyle Hamilton falls out of the top 10. And McDuffie goes before Stingley. Thoughts? I'll actually say that Kyle Hamilton falling out of the top 10 is the most likely. And it's not because I don't like Hamilton. It's because every single year, safeties, it's hard to predict where safeties go, whether that be in free agency, whether that be the draft. Why? Because it's starting to turn into a position where the value is going down. And the fact that Hamilton had as bad of a combine as he did, I can understand it. But let me tell you this, if I was an NFL team and Kyle Hamilton fell out of the top 10, I would look to trade up because to me, he's a top 5 overall prospect. We get a lot of questions here on NFL Daily, whether we get them on Rumble, whether we get them over on YouTube. So shout out to Orange Man Gator Ball. Shout out to Boomer Raider over on Rumble right now. If I don't get to y'all's questions during our live show here on NFL Daily, You can always hit me up on IG. Slide in the DMs at MitchellRentz365. I'm also providing you guys updates around the NFL, around the Raiders, around fantasy football, whatever you want. Hit me up on social media. Colin, would you rather have Colin Kaepernick or Geno Smith? Are you just doing Kaepernick questions because your name's Colin? Colin, would I rather have Kaepernick or Geno Smith? This is actually a really difficult question for me. I don't think Geno Smith's any good. So how about this? Before I give my answer, let me know what you guys think. Who's the better quarterback? And be honest, because I do not see Geno Smith. I don't even think Geno's probably a top 50 quarterback, if I'm being real with y'all. I never liked him first when he came out of West Virginia. Thought the Jets taking him was really bad. He did play okay in spurts last season for Seattle. The issue is this. I haven't seen Colin Kaepernick play since 2016. However, 2016 Colin Kaepernick was probably better than Geno Smith back in 2016. I don't have a great answer for you, but since I've seen Geno more recently, I guess I'm going to go Geno Smith, but it sounds icky. There's better options than both of these guys, I promise you that. Dale Webb Jr., who wins the AFC West? This is a really tough question. I know the Raiders have the worst odds to do it. You guys are going to hate me, my Raider fans out there. I'm still going to put my money on Kansas City. And until I see them not win the AFC West, until I see them not dominate, I'm going to take them to win. They have the best quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. Yes, losing Tyreek Hill definitely makes this a lot more even. But I can't come up here and sit here and say the Raiders are going to do it. I think the Raiders are the second best team in that division. But I'm still going to go with the Chiefs because they have Mahomes, and they've done it so many damn times. What up, Sammy Silver? How many first-round draft day trades do you see happening? Good question. So I originally said I would set the over-under at about 3.5. I'm going to go ahead and take 4 simply because this draft to me is going to be wonky with quarterbacks. And if quarterbacks start to slide down the board, I think trades could start happening. Even certain wide receivers, and even though the really good defensive draft, really good offensive line draft as well, that's not sexy names. I still think that teams are going to be looking at those quarterbacks, looking at those wide receivers and trading up. So my number is going to be 4, but you guys can let me know. Type O for over 3.5 or perfect. This is even better. How many trades happen in round 1? What do you think? 4, 3, 2? My number is going to be 4. What do you think, Orange Man Gator Bolt? What do you think over there, Boomer Raiders 75? And then my opinion says 2. John Santos says 3. Well, guess what? We're going to find out sooner rather than later.